Hey everybody, welcome to the Sati Consulting channel, or welcome back to the channel. We are going to have a discussion today on how to transition from teacher to instructional designer. Now, I get asked this question all the time, at least once or twice a week. What was my process and what did I do to transition from being a teacher to an instructional designer? So I'm going to share with you that process, because just a quick background about me in my bio, that I was an elementary school teacher for 16 years. I taught K through sixth grade. Big mistake teaching sixth grade for that 1 year. We'll talk about that later. And I also taught overseas for 2 years, one of the best experiences of my teaching career. I taught in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. Once I came back to the United States, I was like, you know what? This is not it. So I decided to explore my career options and instructional design. I had dabbled in instructional design while I was overseas, developing training for professional development, to teach their teachers how to teach. So it was just, something that came naturally. And I just decided that I was going to go for it. And once I came back to the States and I, just weighed my options, I just, set some goals. And I'm going to share with you what I did, because I will say that I have been in corporate instructional design for 4 years now. And I went from instructional designer to senior instructional designer to lead instructional designer to being curriculum manager, and now I manage a team of instructional designers. So I want to show you how I did that, and what you can do too if you're a teacher transitioning to instructional design, or if you're in any career transitioning to instructional design. Here are some basic things that I did. Just setting some goals. I'm just so excited to share it, because I always get asked this question. I've done a few consultations, and I'm also available for consultations on my website. I will do a free 15-minute consultation. Anything longer than that, establishing a plan for you, resume reviews, those kinds of really key important things, coming up with training plans for you on what you can do to upskill yourself without going back to school. I will show you what you can do. So let's get into it. How to transition from teacher to instructional designer. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like button. I'm asking everybody to please do so, and share if you care. And also go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so that whenever we upload new content about instructional design, you will get that notification and join us here on the Sati Consulting channel. So let's get into it. Well, the first thing I did after researching more about instructional design, and I was 100% sure that this is the career change for me, I learned how to use the authoring tools that instructional designers use. So as you can see on the screen, these are some of the tools that instructional designers use. These are some of my go-tos, tools that I still use to this day, and some on a daily basis. But what I did was I, did YouTube tutorials. I did webinars. I also did some, some courses, some, full blown courses. And I watched other people, um, you know, uh, present these webinars, and I was amazed. It was such an exciting time for me because I love learning. I am a little nerd, and it just was just so inspirational to me to see all of this wonderful training that was already created and just out there free for me to learn. So those are one of the things that I did. So the first tool that I learned was Storyline. Now, Articulate 360 has a suite of authoring tools for instructional designers, but out of this suite, I believe Storyline and Rise are the two main tools that I used and to create online learning. And you can build e-learning courses ranging from simple interactions to complex interactions using Storyline. The next tool that I learned how to use, and we'll just go right here, and we'll skip down here to Vyond. Vyond. Now, I will say this about Vyond. It's an automated authoring tool in which instructional designers can create animated shorts, videos, whiteboard graphics without requiring significant training or a huge investment of time to learn this. Y'all, I taught fourth graders how to use Vyond. Now, back then it was called Go Animate. But I taught fourth graders how to use the free version, and they would create presentations using Vyond. Of course, I had to tell them, you know, how kids can be, don't use the bar scene. But, you know, I had to make sure that they limited office scene and living room scene. You can do those, no bar scene, no foolishness. So, so that was my experience with that. So I learned how to use Go Animate, and now Go Animate is now Vyond. The company had a name change, of course. And I just find that with Vyond, it is really helpful for training a process, a change management, just, you know, quick videos. You know, people have the attention span of a gnat anyway. So it's just really helpful for those quick, short, you know, 1 minute, 2 minute messages, things that can be done quickly, and you're able to get your message or your training out really quickly with that. And, you know, job aids, learning aids that are, you know, used to, you know, can be used to supplement some of your training materials too. So that was Vyond. And the next tool we'll talk about is Camtasia. I love Camtasia. Camtasia is the best. Camtasia can be used to edit videos. You can take, you know, it's your tool that you use to create demonstration videos, your how-to screencasts and simulation videos. You can use Camtasia for that. It has so many cool little features that you can use, some which I'm using to that are similar to what I'm using to create this video now. And it's very, very user friendly. Um, and while we're at it, let's talk about Snagit that's over here. So this icon is for Snagit. Both Camtasia and Snagit are created by TechSmith. So they can work hand in hand, and Snagit is just another great tool for screen captures, creating job aids with images. You can, you know, have step-by-step processing. You can create, I can't tell you how many things I've created, how many training tools and job aids I've created with just Snagit. So I love Camtasia and Snagit. And they're both very user friendly, made by TechSmith. This icon is for the Adobe Creative Cloud. So I learned how to use Illustrator. It was not an easy task. I also learned, and in Illustrator, I will say, in all fairness, Illustrator is really for for graphic designers, someone who likes to create their own logos create their own icons. That is what Illustrator is for. You can also create some great infographics in Illustrator. So that's kind of what I learned to use it for. You can manipulate images with Illustrator, changing colors, changing, you know, removing backgrounds, those kinds of things that we do as instructional designers. You can, if you have some graphic design skills kind of built in, you know, I think instructional designers are creative people, so we kind of dab back and forth in graphic design. But anyway, I also did learn how to use Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro is really competition for Camtasia, and Premiere Pro is also used to edit copy and video and audio, or to create materials, create training materials, the same as Camtasia. You can do the same thing with Camtasia, editing copy, video, audio, for your training materials. And so I learned how to use Premiere Pro, more and as I said, I will say that learning how to use Illustrator and Premiere Pro, these tools do require a significant investment of time and energy to learn. They're not as user-friendly, in my opinion, as Camtasia and Snagit. Another one is Photoshop. Again, graphic designers use a lot of Photoshop too. So I would just kind of, consider these tools. Although they're not as easy to learn, they are still very widespread used. So you could get an instructional designer job, and this is what they use to create training. So I learned how to use it because I just wanted to learn how to use everything at that point. As I was, deciding and have made the decision to make a career change. Another one here, this logo is for Adobe Captivate, and it's another popular authoring tool that I learned that is the competition and similar to designing e-learning and online training, is similar to Storyline. It is, like I said, there is a huge learning curve for that. It does take a little bit more time and investment to learn how to use Captivate. But you can, do just so many things with it. It's very robust. Software demonstrations, simulations, branch scenarios, randomized quizzes, very, the same as what you do with Storyline. It's just a little bit different. So I just encourage everybody to try to learn how to use that as well. Another thing about Captivate, it can also be used to create screencasts too, and you can also convert Microsoft PowerPoint presentations, and you can do the same thing with Storyline into the HTML5 format, and you can track use it for tracking your learning. Last but not least, I already knew how to use PowerPoint. But what I did was I learned how to design slides with minimal text, better graphics, layers, animations, and transitions. Y'all, you can make a PowerPoint presentation function like an e-learning in presentation mode if you have those skills. So quick shout out to one of my favorite UK presentation companies called Bright Carbon. They are amazing. They create the most amazing presentations, y'all. I know I'm giving them some free press right now, but I learned so much from this company, and just the skills and little small things to help make your training just clean, crisp, and beautiful. And there's a director, his name is Richard Goring, and I'll include include their links in the bio. I give props where props are due. This helped me along the way, and I just want to, give back. So anybody else out there looking for this, you'll see what I mean when you go to Bright Carbon and see all the wonderful things that they have. They have tons of tools, tons of resources, tons of free downloads to help you learn and to help you transition from teacher to instructional designer, or from whatever to instructional designer, and really build that skill set with PowerPoint, because I was able to really take those skills that I attended an hour webinar, and right after the webinar, I went to my PowerPoint where I was creating my instructor-led training and implemented the same skills right then and there. And it made for great training presentations where you don't have 5,000 words on the slide. All right, just a little quick blurb about one of my favorite tools, which is Storyline 360. It's really easy. You can create easy interactivity without limits. You can add any videos. There is a free 30-day trial that you can sign up for to help you learn, and this will also give you a goal, put you on a timeline. So you have 30 days to learn how to use this. So every day of those 30 days, you would want to be on that account for Storyline 360, learning how to use it and creating your sample training. And you can also use Storyline 360 to create screencasts and software simulations. Really an amazing tool. So another thing I will say that LinkedIn was my go-to for, job opportunities, business networking opportunities. I still use it to this day, of course. I definitely took advantage of that and continue to make connections to this day. I still do. I still have people messaging me on LinkedIn to learn more about how I transitioned from teacher to instructional designer. And I do offer some consultations, free 15-minute consultation. After that, there is a fee. Can't give all these jewels away for free. Um, One awesome feature of LinkedIn, I will say, y'all, is LinkedIn Learning. So again, nerd here, nerd. I have a library card, and with my library card, I got free access to LinkedIn Learning. Okay, lynda.com was the name. Now it's LinkedIn Learning, but I got that for free with my library card. I got access to the free training. And because I didn't have a paid subscription, teachers don't make that much money. So I didn't have, an extra $35 or whatever it is for the subscription to dedicate to that. I kind of couldn't see it at the time. So this gave me an opportunity to access this for free. And you can learn on your schedule. Like I said, set some goals, set a schedule. You got to do certain things every day, or every other day you need to be doing this, or every Tuesday and Thursday, or every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday I need to take training. That's how I did it. You learn on your schedule. It provides you with personalized recommendations based on the trainings that you have taken and the skills that you indicate that you want to learn. And also there are expert instructors on here. Learn from the experts. You're learning from industry leaders. This is all in one place. And you also do earn some recognition once you finish a course on LinkedIn Learning. It will give you a little certificate. I will say though, now with my little free account with the library, I was not able to transfer my certificates from the library account to my actual LinkedIn account. So that was it gets a little sticky with that. But you can still download the certificates and have them, and you did the training. So that's the most important thing. And it's also just a little nugget. It's available in multiple languages. You can get it in English, French, German, Japanese, Spanish, Mandarin, and Portuguese, if that's what you please. Okay? Okay. CC, shukran. Anyway, I was just able to do a lot of training courses and tutorials with LinkedIn Learning. So just wanted to share that was one of the other things that I did. I also did the great resume revision. Yes, another critical step that I took as a teacher. Y'all, you have an amazing, just a plethora of transferable skills. So, for example, I'll say in the instructional design world, you conduct content assessments, you do data analysis with your classes and your test results. You have to do a data analysis. You create knowledge checks. All those little quizzes you get, that's creating an assessment, creating a knowledge check. You create objectives. Um, and I will say, I was a stickler for using Bloom's taxonomy because I was also a gifted and talented teacher. So I had the certification for gifted and talented, and I used Bloom's taxonomy for those students so that I made sure I was teaching them skills, with higher order thinking. So as a teacher, that same instructional design, you are doing the same thing. You are creating objectives you want the higher order thinking skills to come through for the adults as well. And then another thing, you're a teacher. I always consider myself teacher, teacher as facilitator. I am facilitating the learning. I shouldn't be the one going home tired every day. Once I present a lesson, present the information, and actually share that with the students, it is their job to then, learn. You can learn by doing, learn by discovery, exploring, and I consider myself teacher as a facilitator, especially with the gifted and talented students that I taught. So the key thing is you have to just tailor your resume. Now, another free nugget. I said, tailor the resume. Now, I didn't say create a whole resume live. Like you just going to create a whole new, brand new suit. You can't do that. Or you shouldn't do that. You can, but you should not. The best thing to do is tailor your resume to the position. Again, focus on your transferable skills and focus on measurable results that you have. Please don't change your job title to instructional designer when you know the school district XYZ that you work for the past 17 years as first grade teacher. You know good and well that you were not an instructional designer per se. Not like for real. That was not your job title. So one of the sticklers as a hiring manager, I will say that it is amazing how many teachers' resumes that I have come across that actually don't even put teacher on their resume. They just replace it with instructional designer. That is not the same thing. Okay, anyway. Just put that you were a teacher. You can put instructional designer in italics. There's other things that you can do. And if you want a consultation, I can surely share all that with you. But I'm trying not to make this video too long. But just don't replace teacher or educator with instructional designer. That's not what we want here. But make sure you prioritize the most relevant experiences and skills. Be simple, consistent with your formatting. Use bullet points, and proofread, and also diversify your verbs. You can't, you shouldn't just put, I managed everything, manage this, manage curriculum, manage that. Yeah, you want to diversify your verbs. That's where that Bloom's taxonomy comes in. We'll talk about that a little bit in another video. But that's what I did. I revised my resume, not relied my resume. I revised my resume and tailored my skills to the position where it fit, where it made sense with skills I did and do have. Now, continuing education. I'm just be honest with y'all. I have a master's degree in education and a bachelor's degree in journalism and mass communications. And I'm not going to anybody else's school for anybody else's degrees. I have gained so much experience in my career that I'm at the place where I don't feel like that is really necessary for me to spend $12,000 more dollars to go to school. There's so much free stuff out here. Why should I? Now, I am not against getting any certifications and things that will enhance what I already have. But y'all, there's so much free things that you can access out here. All of these avenues that you see on this screen. I'm not going to read all of these, but you can access this free content. They have courses that you can take there. You just have to look into it and do your research. Cornell, major universities, and there's tons of things that you can do. So if you do have the desire, but if you do have the desire to go back to school, now these institutions also have some great instructional design programs. You have to look into them. There's also, some great degree and certificate instructional design programs. So I do encourage everybody to research. Whatever I do, I will always be a teacher of something. So I just encourage you to research and find out more if you're interested in going back to school. I know for me right now, I'm not going to be able to do it, but I go back to school if that is what you would like to do, and you want that. You want, that type of information. You want that type of experience. So I do recommend continuing education, but the free is free. Now, this type of free is good. Organizations. Yep. I also joined the Association for Talent Development. They do offer courses and certificates for instructional design, and I do encourage everybody to look into that and see if that's what will work best for you. The International Society for Performance Improvement is another great organization. I did not join that organization, but I've heard nothing but great things from them. They do offer some great resources, articles, same as ATD, and trainings. As a matter of fact, with ATD, I will be joining their virtual training. I wish I was going to San Diego, but I'm not. So I will be joining the virtual ATD conference this year, and I'm excited about that. So definitely look into joining an organization. There's network opportunities here too, at local chapters. There's also job employment information, just networking with leaders in the industry, experts in the training and design and learning and development field in corporate sector. So definitely a great place to look and to get involved with. Now, another important step was creating a portfolio. When you apply for an instructional designer job, you definitely want to make sure you have a portfolio that you can share with the hiring manager and the recruiters to pass on to the hiring manager. So make sure you do that. Just a few things that I added here that will be key to your portfolio. Showcase your skills. Create an online course that includes all of these elements that you see on here. And anything you really love. It can be about anything. Anything you really love that makes sense, that would be a neutral topic. And just, I did one on flowers. I created an online training on flowers just to kind of showcase some of the different interactions, slide layering, knowledge checks, videos that I could add and load graphic design in there. Also had some audio in there. So, that's what you can do. And here's another area where you can actually take your Vyond skills and incorporate it into your e-learning that you create so that your training can have that animated video element in it. Your portfolio can have that animated element in it. And I'm actually in the process of updating my portfolio. And as soon as I'm done, I will certainly post it and share the links to that. It's been a while since I've updated my own portfolio. And that's one thing you want to get in the habit of, constantly updating the portfolio. But with all the change with COVID and everything else going on, and job change, new manager position as a manager, I haven't updated mine as frequently as I should have, but I'm always about making corrections. So I'm, finding the time, planning the time, setting a goal, and I will be ready to share my refreshed portfolio with everybody soon. And another thing you can do, I established myself as an independent contractor. There are short-term, long-term contracts out there for instructional designers. I created Sati Consulting, my own LLC, and I just kind of look for work as a contractor, on a 1099 status, so that I can separate the business entity, Sati Consulting, from Satira. So that was, that's one other thing that I did on my journey for, transitioning from teacher to instructional designer. Well, everybody, that's about it. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so that you get notifications whenever new content is available for you. Also, share this video with your network of instructional designers. Sharing is caring. And if you want to reach us, we can be reached. Our information is here. Info, you can email me at info@saticonsulting.com. You can also visit our website at www.saticonsulting.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy to share this with everybody, and you just share my experience, and hopefully it'll help make a difference for somebody out there who's wondering what to do and how to transition from teacher to instructional designer. Thank you, everybody. See you next time.